see how it goes.
Just go for it, man.
And we are now rolling, now live. Hello, my name is Cameron Johnson. On YouTube, you know me as GambasTV. Well, some of you know me anyway. I am here with two of my best friends. I'm with Sam and I'm with Nayru. I met these guys both at Griffith College. We're all film students in the TV and film production course here at Griffith College. Nayru just graduated from third year, and Sam is going into second year with me soon. This is the GambasTalk podcast, and I wanted to start a podcast basically because, I like to talk. I like to talk about serious topics. I like to talk about deep topics. I like to go into all the wibbly wobbly space shit that exists out there in our minds and in our souls. And I don't like small talk. I don't like, how is the weather today? Did you see that thing on the news? I want to talk about the things that really matter, what makes people tick, what their motivations are, what they want to do with their lives. In this episode, we're going to be talking about happiness, and I'll tell you more about what we're going to be talking about later. But first, I'm going to let my friends here introduce themselves. Do you want to start, Nayru?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Nayru Analisa. Fellow filmmaker. With these two guys here. They're basically my team. I love in-depth talk. I am all about being emotionally naked. I love that stuff. I'm also very spiritual, so I love bringing this stuff into conversation when basically anybody. This is just weird for most people, but that's the reason why it should be just spoken more often, so people become comfortable with it. So yeah.
And Nayru, what do you want to do with your life?
You're going to have to edit all that bollocks I said.
There's going to be no editing on this podcast, by the way. As soon as it starts recording,
great, okay, that's fine. I don't care.
As long as you guys are okay with that. I'm very,
Oh yeah, no,
whatever.
I'm fine. Yeah. What do I want to do with my life? Okay, well, two things. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to create content that would help people heal. So it's two things. I want to be able to help people in artistic ways. And one way would be in a personal level. And to creating artistic content via film. So that's pretty much what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. And yourself, Sam?
I'm Sam. As Cameron was just saying there, I'm also in the same course, film and television production, and I'm quite a big fan of settings that are kind of like this, informal podcast stuff, general talk about stuff that interests all of us. So, kind of half the reason that I'm here today.
What's the other half?
Half the reason I'm here today. What was the first half? It was just I enjoy these kinds of things. The other one was just I don't know, chance to I guess hear the things that that you two have to say, add my own 2 cents, and just have a general good deep conversation.
Excellent.
More or less.
Excellent, yeah. Well, moving on. So today's topic is going to be happiness. I've written a list of different topics that I want to talk about in various podcasts. We'll see who in the future are guests on my podcast. Of course, I'm open to having you guys back on again. If you are good guests, we'll see how well you perform. I have a timer set for an hour, so we're 56 minutes and 55 seconds left. That has taken 3 minutes to introduce. And this is my first time doing a proper podcast, so I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm not sure about you guys, but getting into the groove of things. But yeah, today's topic is going to be happiness. And what I want to talk about is basically how we, as different people here, define happiness, how we search for happiness in our lives, and what we think happiness is, and how important happiness is to us. So I've actually Googled the definition of happiness, and it's given me a very, very, very useful answer. So when you Google define happiness, it says the state of being happy, which is very, very helpful.
The wonders of modern technology. I love
so
it.
I'm going to have to.
It's so good.
I think does it. That's all we needed.
Yeah. So I'm going to define happy. It's like
Hal, are you happy?
Yeah, it's exactly. Asking someone, are you happy? Then Google define happy.
Yeah, it's I think I am. I think according to Google.
Do you feel happy or sad?
Yeah.
No. So to what? Feel.
It says here when I say define happy, it says adjective 1. Feeling or showing pleasure or contentment, which I think that's a very
redundant.
Yeah.
I'd say it's redundant because it's pretty much referring to the same thing.
Yeah.
Contentment, joy.
We can go into the definitions of pleasure and contentment, which I would definitely say are different things. For me, pleasure is like a split-second thing that you feel in the moment. Contentment is a feeling that all the moments have added up into a constant state of well-being that's based on fulfillment and completing your goals and giving something back to the world. And we can go into all different things about this, but So that's what Google tells us anyway. It also says that happy could mean fortunate and convenient, but that's another definition of happiness that I don't care about at all. You guys can disagree if you want. But now I'm going to ask you guys how you guys would define happiness. Let's start with Nayru again. Okay. Sorry, Sam.
No, it's all right.
How would you define happiness, Nayru?
I think, my view in happiness is pretty much related to a feeling, a sense of purpose. Because I feel happiness is, I think the reason why we're here is to be happy. Mm-hmm. So I feel when we're happy, we're kind of like in the highest state that we could possibly experience in a positive way. So I feel like whatever we do in our lives that lead us to be the closest in that state it's what's the purpose. So if you ask me about happiness, I think it's the same thing as purpose. It's just knowing that you have something there's for you. Something makes you feel connected, belonging in the highest state you can be. So I would say that. I would also say that it's also something that you define from an early age, but is very much shut down by a lot of people around us. Like, as you grow up, you're just concerned about being happy. A child only cares about being happy. That's it. When we grow up, we're questioning what are the things that makes us feel happy, because there's so much stuff in our heads that we're like, is this supposed to make me feel happy or is it not supposed to? Yeah. So, like, I think it gets really confusing nowadays in that sense, because there's so many, like, shadows or guilt about a lot of things. And but yeah, I think happiness is just purpose.
Yeah. And you mentioned that that happiness, so when you said that when you were a kid all you think about is being happy, and then you said when you're an adult that basically that you keep questioning what makes you happy and trying to figure out what that is. Do you think that what makes a child happy is the same thing as what makes an adult happy?
That's a good one. I don't think so. I think we lose half of our sense of happiness and purpose as we grow up, because when you're a kid, you just feel it. You just go for what feels good. When we're adults, we're always questioning why what we're going for should be right or wrong. When if it feels good for us, and obviously if you're not hurting somebody else, why not? So yeah, I think. So
would you say the more that you grow up, the more your happiness is defined on what is good for other people as well, and other people. I think we're programmed, like society programs us in that way, because you probably think, like, I'll give you an example. You probably grow up watching cartoons or something, but then it comes to a stage when you are like, you graduate from high school and you gotta get into college, and then you gotta like find a job, and then you want to play video games again. And you're like, no, wait, I'm an adult now. I can't do this shit. But then it's something that really genuinely makes you happy. Why the hell not do it? So we're kind of conditioned to go against that, because they make us associate things that are happy with things that are childish. So, that's part of the control system that we're kind of in. But yeah. And what about you, Sam? How do you define happiness? Would you agree with what Nayru said, or would you differ in some ways?
Mostly, I think I actually would agree. What you said about like kind of losing sort of half of yourself when you kind of grow up and reach adulthood. This is going to be a bit like dark, but this is kind of my main thought. I think that like once you learn about your own mortality, that's kind of the moment where, at least for me, that's the bit where like most of the happiness kind of goes away, because it's like, when you're a kid, you're not really concerned about like what race somebody is or ethnicity or that kind of thing. It's like, I like blue too, we should be friends. But then like as soon as you learn about like the big shit that goes on in the world, you're like, wait, how can I concentrate on anything anymore? What everything's different now. So that was for me, that was kind of the moment when I called everything that made me happy into question. And there was a point up until I was, I want to say like 14, when like I was in a bit of a funk, when like I didn't really know like where I was going, like a bit directionless in that kind of sense. But if bringing it back to sort of what I would define happiness as, it's like it might clash with or be similar to what your definition of contentment is, because that's kind of my definition of happiness, like a sense of not really fulfillment, but a sense of like calm within yourself. That when you look at everything that you have objectively, your family, your friends, and the goals that you yourself are working towards, and how you are actively putting yourself forward for those goals, and you're making it work for yourself. and it kind of like creates this sense of, you know, contentment within yourself. That to me is and also like being happy with who you are as a person.
That is that's a topic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like you know, me. So surprisingly enough, me being a geek, I didn't really have that many friends in secondary school. But you know, it was there's a moment when like you kind of need to take a step back, evaluate yourself a little bit, and for me, it was kind of coming to the realization of like, wait, why do I give a shit? And then like I learned to stop giving a shit about, you know, the things that I like and the things that I say and my interests and what I want to pursue as a career. Yeah. And from that moment on, I went from being like, you know, kind of stuck in that mode of not really knowing what I was doing or where I was going and calling everything into question, and then being, you know, like, I'm pretty happy with who I am and where I am in life and all that kind of thing. So that would be, in a long, drawn out, swirly, timey-wimey way, that's my kind of definition of being happy.
I think it's really interesting what you said earlier, because you mentioned the word mortality.
Yeah.
I remember someone saying one day, there was a quote I came across that it's either being happy or I die.
Yeah.
It's either happy or I commit suicide. It was actually that.
No, totally. I buy that.
Like,
do you guys think that if we were immortal, let's say we're vampires or we're just Wolverine immortal or we're just regularly immortal, we actually have eternal youth and we never die, and we don't have to suck blood to stay alive.
Unfortunately.
We just stay alive because we're so good. Do you think that happiness would be different if we had, like, if we knew that we had, even if our lifespans were like 100 years longer, do you think that the relative shortness of our lives drives what we consider happiness and drives what we do to become happy?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'd say so. You know what? Like, a good example of that are animals.
Yeah.
You see, as humans, we're spiritual beings, as animals, you see. And animals know that their time on Earth is temporary. Mm-hmm. So they're usually easygoing. Cats, for example. Yeah. Cats don't give a shit because they know they're going to be here for, like, a short time, so they just focus on doing what they love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cats. I know you like cats.
Yeah, no, I love cats.
So
love cats.
I think, that's
it'd be interesting to be able to talk to a cat and figure out what the fuck makes them happy, because knowing my cats, it's not a lot of things.
I feel like a cat would be kind of a dick though, be like, I don't know, just do it.
You
ask me so many questions, asshole.
They're all about like self-pleasure, because animals have the sense of knowing like, okay, I'm just going to be here for a while, so I'm just going to make the best of it. So I think if we had like a shorter lifespan as humans, we would definitely be more positive. Like, it would be an entirely different thing.
If we had a shorter lifespan, you think? Okay,
that's
interesting.
It'd be totally different.
See, like, I'd agree with that. Yeah. I've never played this game, but there's a game that I saw footage of a long time ago. It was called Xenoverse, I think. And there's a character in that game who he is immortal, like to the point where he cuts off his own limbs and then regrows them just to like freak people out.
Yeah.
But there's a quote that somebody says later on in the game. You see like two bits that like tell you a lot about him as a character, where there's a flashback moment where he's a kid and he beats people up because he thinks that everybody else is immortal like him, and then his brother like gives him a massive verbal beatdown and says, no, we're all gonna die and you're not. And you see this kid like break. He's like, no, I want to die, I don't want you to go. And that like tells you so much about him as a person. But then there's another quote later on that somebody else says, which is, if the body did not die, the world would be an eternal prison. And that's kind of like my, you know, like my thing of like, who fucking wants to live forever?
There's
I think
so
it would suck.
much.
Sometimes I think about wanting to live forever, to be honest. I do often, because there's so many things that I want to do in life. I want to visit every country. I want to read every book. I want to watch every movie. I want to have every experience that a human can possibly have. And like, because I'm not religious, I don't believe in any higher power. I'm not spiritual either. Like, it's difficult for me. I'm a very logical, scientific person when it comes to that thing, and I wish I could have belief, but it's difficult for me to believe in anything after death. But it's also impossible for me to believe that there's nothing after death either, because it's just eternal nothingness. Like, there's no possible way. There's some such concept of nothingness is only created by our mind. Our mind is coded to associate things based on the concept of polarity. To understand one thing, and we need to know the opposite. That's a way like things are coded right now, so we can have like this experience. So there's no possible way that in this universe we experience
such thing as nothingness, because there is nothing.
It's just that's another huge topic.
Yeah, there is for another day, but I had to bring it up.
Yeah, but I want to.
The other thing is that like your brain is an asshole. Because your brain like it pushes negative shit to the forefront of your mind more than it does the positive stuff. Like I could probably tell you beat for beat like every single time I got bullied in school or like every like crap day that I had. But I would like struggle to remember. Oh yeah, I went for a barbecue with my friends like that day. That was cool.
Yeah, and a lot of my favorite memories, and a lot of the times when I look back and I was like, damn, I was happy at that time. They're just, most of the times it's just hanging out with friends or family and just
connection,
eating, you know,
connection with people,
playing games, you know. It's just chill. It's funny, lots of laughter.
What I find very fulfilling about like what we do now is that like I find myself in a room full of people here, and like when we actually go back to work in the new year, you're in a room surrounded by people who are all of a similar mindset. And totally. Coming from a not a family, because my family are very creative, but like a school environment where I'm kind of the only person who like analyzes the things that I read and the things that I watch to the extent that I do, and nobody else really does. Going from like none of that to all of that is like another kind of like big fulfillment of happiness, because I'm like, I'm around my people now. You know, like one of my like us working on Teeter, which is available now on Gambas TV. YouTube channel to watch.
Director's cut coming soon.
Promo.
Director's cut of Teeter. Trailer at the end. No, there's not. We were like working on that. You could feel that, like, I'm not spiritual. I'm not really spiritual, but that like kind of energy that's in the room. Of
That's not spirituality. That is actual science. So it works.
But that collective energy of people all in one room who are all working towards making a good movie. That's something that like really sticks in my head from fulfilling and happy moments that we had.
That's how we met. It's pretty much
it?
That's how we met,
Teeter?
No, not Teeter, but like
filmmaking,
the exhibition. I was pitching my major project, and you guys came on like, yay! It was crazy.
We're here now.
It was great.
That was one of the happiest days of my life. Not just meeting you; it was a good day otherwise.
I think
very drunk.
Yeah, I was incredibly drunk. And I was also up for 40 hours because I'd seen The Last Jedi twice in a row that night, and I worked the day before and the day after, and I'd gone to class, so I'd been up 40 hours and that.
You've never seen like Red Eye the way until you see a man who's been up for 48 hours straight on
Star Wars.
Monster or Red Bull?
Monster's my
Monster.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that explains why the two of you had this.
Yeah, and then wine.
Jesus.
Oh yes, wine.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good thing bringing that up, because for me, when I think of happiness and I think of what makes me fulfilled and content or whatever, it's definitely when I look at the times, and to be honest, the last few months of my life have been, I would say, very unhappy, and I've been waking up every day and feeling super depressed, super anxious. Felt like there was no way I could make things better. But when I think of the negative feelings, it's happened because I have found myself doing things that made me that gave me pleasure or happiness in the moment, or try to find things that would do that, as opposed to putting the work in to make my creative projects. And this is one of the things of this podcast. I've wanted to do this for over a month, but it's only now that I finally gotten the motivation to say, okay, come on guys, let's actually make this. And I was thinking to myself the last couple of days, like, damn, holy shit, like, I'm so sad because I've spent the first month of the summer pretty much wasting my money, and as you guys know, going to concerts and going out and blowing all my money. I've been working as well, like 30 plus hours a week, because I have to, because I spent all my money. But I haven't been spending time writing or editing or making films, doing the things that I want to do, and that's what I plan for the summer. And I find that the best memories of my life, besides the times when I've just hung out with friends or family, have been when I've been working on creative projects. I love being a director, and I love, getting a group of people together and making sure everyone's, passionate about the project and getting people in.
That's why I define happiness as purpose, because you feel like you're collectively, first of all, you're feling you belong somewhere. I think that's like a basic happiness requirement. It's that feeling of belonging. It's so basic, and I also think that it slipped my mind now. It had to do with it's interesting because what you're saying there, you're also giving like your own personal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can be like happy with a group of people and feel like we have purpose with a group of people.
Yeah.
But there's also your and our own like individual purposes, you said, writing
Yeah.
and directing, and it's really cool when you can merge both because. You know, you get like the overall picture of all the work you've done, especially when you're working in film that it requires people to come together and collaborate and everything else. So I think it's really, really great. I think everything we do, like when we're sad and stuff, is for us to feel better.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's really the purpose behind everything we do, because for whatever reason we're sad, stressed, anxious.
Yeah.
Everything is with the idea of feeling better. Like, sometimes it doesn't work, obviously.
Yeah, no, it usually doesn't. Usually, like, one of the things that I do when I'm sad is I binge eat. I'll eat tons of food, and like I usually exercise it off, but I will eat, like, I'll just sit down and I'll be in my bed and I'll just be like really sad. I'll just eat tons of crisps.
So the moment
or chocolate.
it gives you like this high of sugar.
Yeah, and then immediately after you do it, you feel terrible.
Because you ate all the food.
You feel I feel like intense bodily.
Guilt.
Shame. It's shame. It's full on shame, and it happens to me all the time. And I remember so many, and I do it when I'm drunk as well, because I like oftentimes when you people say like, oh, I really need a drink right now. They often say that when they're like stressed or sad or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not a healthy mindset.
Conditioned response. This is such a conditioned response. It's like, I need a drink.
And drinking responsibly and having fun when you are happy already and when you're with your friends can be amazing. But when you go drinking and
if you're drinking alone, that's
drinking,
like
that's the lowest. That's the lowest. I've never drunk alone like at home or anything. That for me would be like, ooh. But,
it's crazy.
I mean, I know people that say that they drink alone and like they do it because they want to and not because they're sad. They just enjoy doing it. If you like cracking open a cold one with yourself, like, you know, that's your prerogative. But like a lot of the saddest memories I have of the last year are times when I've gone out with people. Usually there'll be people that I didn't know too well, but I went out just because I wanted to go out because I felt lonely or whatever. And I ended up drinking tons and then just being alone and then just drinking more and then just feeling terrible. Then I always, when I'm drunk and sad, I always end up walking home and buying food on the way back, like McDonald's or something, and eating it depressedly. And that just like, the shame that builds up over time.
It builds momentum. It amplifies. Because everything keeps them. A bit negative.
But a lot of the unhappiness, it comes from I have different things that like trigger periods of being depressed or whatever. But it comes back to the same thing. Damn, I really regret going out instead of working on something or whatever. You know, obviously I don't regret every time I've gone out. But you know,
but you feel that like you could have been working, instead of spending money on.
Well, it's probably because you have like maybe a contradictory idea of the concept of what would make you feel good in that moment. So you say like, no, this is probably gonna bring me more like pleasure, you know, in short term rather than long term. So obviously when you're under pressure, you just want the fastest solution to feel happy.
But this is also one of the reasons why I think like you and me click quite well, because like you're very driven. You know, like that was evident when, I think like on the first day when you and me were talking. Like, I like to think that I can get good enough reads on people. I probably can't, but this is just me.
No, that's what you can.
But like day one, us talking, discussing ideas, you talking about like stuff that you wanted to make, me talking about like, you know, dumb ideas that I might do in the future, that kind of thing. But I could pick up like I could pick up on that very quickly, that, you know, you're a driven guy and you want to do well. And I think in this business particularly, those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. You need to be around people who they show up on time, they're there because they like what they're doing, they want to do what they're doing, and they want to make the best possible thing that they can. Ambition and just aiming for quality. Exactly. Like ambition's in my brain, ambition isn't really a bad thing.
No.
I mean,
not at all. Like, what should we aim for? Like,
definitely.
Especially when you're creating like a final product that's going to be watched and heard. So like, there is like certain standards you gotta have to aim high. Like, don't just go to something else. But
no, definitely.
But no, another thing that I want to talk about is whether or not, because we've hit on in this podcast already, like in the moment doing things that make you feel happy, and then that actually not turning out to being what happiness is. You talk about me being driven, which thank you very much. I find you very driven as well.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie, I've told you this in person, but for the public to hear. When I first met Sam, I was like, Jesus Christ, here's the film industry in person.
Oh my god, yeah.
Here's this asshole with his weird hair.
You just seem like a walking coffee cup.
Oh my god, I have to absolutely agree
That's
with
the
that.
thing.
So energetic.
I'm like, hey, son, dudes, I don't even like memes yet.
I absolutely have to agree. Yeah. I don't know where this kid gets so much energy. Like, seriously. Like, what do? You do, like, I don't
cocaine.
know.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't do cocaine.
Yeah, initially I was a bit intimidated, but then the more I got to know you and the more I realized we had the same interests kind of thing, I was like, hell yeah.
No, I remember in the exhibition when I met him, when he came over to watch my project, there were like other guys from our class around, and he was loud as hell. Like, everybody was like so in the dark when he was around. It was like casting shadows everywhere because he was just so sparked up, and it was impossible not to notice that.
Out of embarrassment.
Hey, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? All of that in the good way. It's very impressive. Like, you don't always come across someone who's got so much, you know, that kind of energy, creative energy.
Charisma as well. I really, at the start I was like, well, because I'm not like the same as you. I'm not like super energetic and I don't know how to explain it.
I think you're inwardly more energetic.
Guys, let's get up and do this kind of thing.
Usually in situations where you would be that way, I'd probably be more like quiet and
planning,
reserved.
Yeah, I like to just sit and think.
Yeah.
But like when I'm in the moment, when I am like say, it's usually because the most energetic I get is when I'm directing.
Yeah.
I can be like going between everyone, like do this, do this with if you want to, and if you're passionate about it, of course.
Do I have consent?
yeah. Very important, guys. It's not something to be joking about, but yes, consent is very important.
No, I think you're more like
everything in life.
I think you're more like an inward creator.
Yeah,
you know, you're like processing thoughts and feelings, and you create it with that. While Sam's more like external.
Yeah.
So I think there's like an interesting polarity in there, like.
And it's a good way to collaborate as well. I think we bring good things out of each other. You often surprise me. There'll be times where like you have ideas, and I'll be like maybe, but then when we actually make it, I'll be like when we do it, I'll be like ooh, definitely.
You want to talk about honor? Are we gonna?
We can talk definitely about
honor. Heartstrings. Hello, my major project was safe because of the two of you.
Thank you very much. Okay,
like seriously.
For the context of the podcast, to anyone who's listening,
we're
Honor is a short film that Sam and Nayru wrote together. Is that correct?
Yeah. You did story, I did dialogue, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I credited.
And we filmed that a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
At Sam's place, and me and Sam play ninjas who are fighting over a donut, and you will see that hopefully on
my magnum opus. You're never going to see anything better from me ever.
Yeah. Hopefully, that will be available soonish to watch.
We're
the editor. And then Nayru's major project, Heartstrings. You can introduce that film.
Oh yeah, my major project. That was supposed to be like my opus in college, and I mean, it was a lot of trial and error thing. But I think what kept me going was like the relationship I had with you guys and with the other crew members. I felt like, even though I wasn't getting like the support from college that I was expecting, like from the lecturers, they'd be more like practical and the way they would organize us and stuff. But because originally we weren't really allowed to use people from first years. Like, so I said like I met the two of you, and then after the first meeting I was like, no, these are the guys. Like, I'm sticking with this guys, and I'm gonna fucking abide by that. So a lot of times when they reminded me that, I was like, no, but they got skills, they're great. It has nothing to do with being in first year. Like, it's the attitude. So, like, to me, that changed everything with my product. It was like, okay, I'm going to be breaking the rules in many ways here, but I know that I'm going to be with the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so in the end, that meant more for me than anything else.
I'd rather that you got out a good quality film than stuck to the book and put out something subpar.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It meant a lot to me, actually. It meant a lot to me because I really had no idea how my major
project was going.
I'm very proud.
So
working with it.
My collaboration or my involvement with it might have been kind of ended quickly because of my illness.
Yeah.
Flu.
Sick.
But like those shots came out really nice.
Yeah,
they were really nice. I mean, I'd say it all came down to having technical issues because of like the circumstances. But I think in general we made a really good team, to be honest.
Yeah. No, and I haven't seen the final version yet. I'll admit this to the audience.
I'll show it to you after the podcast.
I actually went to the screening of all the third year's films and had to leave midway through Nayru's film because I was going to see Father John Misty in concert. And that did make me happy. It was a very good concert, but I'm very ashamed of having to miss Nayru's film.
Of course they
I will see it
So
again.
the hard drive is in my Gmail. It's not going to go anywhere.
We can give me a copy. I'll take
yeah, gladly will.
Anything along those lines. I'd love to to watch that over and over again. But yeah, no, I want to go more into because you talked about finding the right people to work with and so on. I think another big thing about happiness is finding the right people in your life. We put a lot of weight in society on, we were talking earlier about the sexual liberation film that you mentioned. Our society currently, puts a lot of weight on, getting laid and finding sexual partners and so on. Yeah. And society has always put lots of weight on, finding a partner, reproducing and all that stuff.
Or finding multiple ones, because that defines, your gender. It's so distorted, the concept of intimacy and love nowadays, because of this whole thing of come in, get it, get out. It's so distorted from what it truly is. So they people make fun of it, saying like, oh, old school love and shit, but it's true that was like more true, real, intimate than what it's right now.
So, and it's different for different people though. I think it all depends on like what makes a person happy and
their values.
There are some people that would be happy having tons of partners. Some people that they just want to have one partner, and stick with them. And it's been for me personally, it's been a very, very, very difficult and interesting and scary and horrifying journey, discovering all these things, in my life in the past couple of years. Because you think, when you, especially with the way the world is now, especially being a guy, especially being a shy guy who's always been really shy talking to girls and what have you.
Join the club.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's so hard to believe that. I suppose it's because that day there was wine in the exhibition, but the way you two guys approached me, I was like, yay, finally, easy to talk to people here. So I would never guess that you two have
It was because there was wine.
Yes, definitely.
Damn it.
But
that's disappointing.
Yeah, bringing it back to happiness now. I've thought, most of my life, or at least since maybe puberty or whatever, that finding a girlfriend or having sex or whatever would be the thing that would finally make me happy, or that falling in love would make me happy and whatnot. And I've experienced all those things in the past couple of years, and I will say that they definitely did, I think, make me a more mature person. They definitely did change me and brought happiness in certain ways. But, when you're a virgin, for instance, you think that having sex for the first time is going to make you happy immediately. Like, as soon as that happens, everything's going to be solved and your world is going to change. It doesn't happen whatsoever. It's fun and you feel good that night or whatever, and it makes you a little bit more confident for a little while.
10 seconds later, it's like
what? But then immediately, as soon as it's over and I don't want to go too deep into the personal stuff because I don't want to involve talking about other people who aren't here or whatever. But it's not something that brings you fulfillment or contentment. It's not a lasting thing. It just gives you a little bit of confidence in that moment. But you have to, when you go through changes in your life and when you get the things that you want,
get so insecure.
You always have to build on those and learn from them instead of just taking them as the things they are.
I personally think relationships are the thing you learn the most from in life about yourself. I don't think there's anything ever out there, not even if you go do a pilgrimage journey, you learn as much as yourself than being in a relationship with someone. I think that really changes everything. And you never come out of a relationship the same way you were when it began. So that helps you. I feel like that helps to direct yourself into what really brings you happiness. I feel that helps you in long term define your own value. And through there define what is really what makes you happy in that way. But it's it's obviously the most painful one because you have to be so vulnerable. You have to be it takes courage to fucking love, seriously. It's really hard
to leave yourself open to somebody else like that. Full disclosure for the people at home. These two have you've been in a relationship, yeah?
Yes, yeah. I was just talking,
Sorry, my brain dumb sometimes. No, but I've never been in a relationship with anybody. So I will admit there are times when I'm I'm just kind of I'm either alone and I'm thinking about the fact that I'm 19 going on 20 and I haven't really been in a proper relationship with anybody yet, and I'll get a bit down thinking about it's sort of a break in self-confidence there, and then it's a little bit of a dip for a few days, and that's just something that kind of crosses my mind every now and again. Just on a personal level.
like I was watching a documentary about this stuff yesterday. In fact, you gotta watch it. It's called Liberated: The New Sexual Revolution.
That was this, what were we talking about?
Yeah, when you mentioned that to me earlier, I was like, holy shit, that's...
you have to watch that.
When you said like sexual liberation film, I was like, who's
what
watching Blue is the warmest color?
No, is that there's
just the scenes.
You see, there's you see, there's a moment where a guy, one of the psychologists has been interviewed. He mentions that he had a patient that was saying that people were pressuring him into having sex because he was in high school and he was the only one left in his group of friends who was still a virgin and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he didn't want to start dating women. He didn't want to get into that yet. His answer was, "I just want to be a kid for as long as I can."
Yeah.
It was a
That's
fucking
so
amazing.
fucking
That's a fucking amazing
very
answer.
Unfortunately, I
Very
lost that
awesome.
whole semester
Like-
at the age of 8, so...
like it's totally
Yeah.
like it totally changed even the way I see things. Although like I'm in a different stage.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? That's absolutely right. What's the rush? That's gonna happen in your life anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
And the more you wait, the better, because the more you're prepared for that.
Yeah.
You know, the more you can work on yourself while you wait.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
It's better than being pressured into doing it. It can be traumatizing. Like
I really envy that mindset because like the pressure to be sexual and to have sex and to be in relationships has been probably the biggest internal conflict of my life, and it's been the biggest driver of pain and anxiety and all that stuff. And it's been like a source of, I feel like you were saying earlier, the thing that you learn the most from is relationships. I definitely think that's true, because especially when I want to make something, when I write a lot of poetry, I've been doing that much more than writing film stuff recently,
lovely.
because I feel that like writing about my love life, as it were, or lack of recently. But
it's funny that you say
my
that.
definite lack of. It's
Yeah.
alright.
That's so funny because I'm also like a closet poet when it comes to love issues.
yeah, no, I have pages and pages full of poetry, and it's just like then it's not that good, but like just having to let
it's
all
yours.
these feelings
It's
out,
yours. Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know all the mistakes that I've made, you know. I feel like shame over and regret over things that I've done that I wish I hadn't have done, and wish I treated people better, and in terms of relationships and stuff, but also opportunities that I've missed, and times when I wish that I had committed to something instead of chickening out or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I always, whenever I get, you know, I'm the sort of person that in the past, whenever it's gotten to the point where it could be serious, I always get really scared because I'm like, oh God, what if this ends up being my entire life? And I'm scared of having one relationship be my entire life.
Just been there.
Yeah.
Absolutely been there for 6 years.
Yeah. But I've also realized that, you know, the happiest times I've been the times when I've like I felt like I was in love, and you know that I connected with someone on such a level where it's bad in some respects because it can become an addiction sometimes, because you'll want to be around them or with them or talking to them 24/7.
Totally.
But it's also such an intoxicating feeling.
It can be.
And whether or not what I consider to have been love, or what I've thought of when I said before that I've been in love or whatever, whether or not that is actually real love, I'm sure that everyone's definition of love is different.
Yeah.
It's definitely somewhere in that equation of happiness out there.
Oh yeah, no, that is like it's a serious part of a happy life is being with a happy partner.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Or in the concept nowadays for some people is multiple partners.
Yeah.
Polyamory and that stuff. But
yeah, and
it is and everything. It took me like a while to realize that like I was someone that when I was in my teen years I was really eager for relationships because I didn't know what that was. I was always curious, like when I watched films or read books, I was always like, what is that thing called love? What is that thing? That's interesting. I only know this based on my family, but I don't know what this is.
It is the big topic.
Oh yeah, totally.
The big thing.
Oh yeah. But later on in life, I realized like no, this is one part of the many aspects of happiness that you can experience.
Yeah.
So like when you're young, that kind of like fills over your head, and you think like, oh, this is it. Yay, walking in the air. This was my purpose all along. Wait, no, I also like to do other stuff. I also like to be, you know, ambitious in projects and films and stuff. And then I'm like, no, wait, like, this is just part of the equation. This is not all of it, which is great because you're not dependent on one thing or one person to be entirely happy.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why I love, like, obviously I love movies and film, but just art in general. I think it ties so well into the whole how life is so complex and so many different things that can make you happy and fulfilled. I think that for me and for most people, probably love and relationships and family and friends, those are the main driving factors. Of course, the main driving factor of us being on this planet from a biological standpoint is having babies. Or maybe in the future when the population gets too big, not having babies. But
it's gonna change. I'd say by the way that things are going now.
African heels.
Feeling like a
gosh.
hero. But
so many good memes.
yeah, but it's usually only a temporary thing. But I love how you can just put on a song that you love or a movie that you like, and it can
hell yeah.
It can make you just for a second forget about all the fucking shit that you're going through, all the pain, all the turmoil, all the anxiety. And I assume not to assume, but I assume we live relatively comfortable lives based on the world average or whatever.
Definitely.
Obviously, we all go through problems. We've all had strife and struggle. But we eat and we sleep and we
we have like
we
have like a roof and food,
we have access to a microphone with which to record a podcast. Like we have access to
an empty room and there's Wi-Fi and
hell
yeah. But still, even within all that, we have so many different struggles that we go through, and they feel like the whole world to us because we're the only we that we know.
Exactly.
That's because we're focused so much on it. Like it really takes all of our attention. It's ridiculous how much especially when you're living by yourself abroad, like in my case, you get so upset by something because it's suddenly everything there is to you. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. Because it's just you, it's on you, and only you can do it. So it really becomes like a big ugly monster. And then when it's over, it was like, okay, this was a really simple thing to do. This was stupid.
You may have a tendency to blow up a problem inside your own head.
Oh
It's something bigger than what it actually is.
Totally.
God will be an example. You need to tell somebody something, but then you think about it too much and think how they're going to react and how that might cause a knock-on effect, and then that one day might end up with you not being friends with them. And then, when you actually say it, it's alright, and then it's over.
It's really simple.
What was I worried about?
It's simple. It's the mind just driving you crazy, because I think the mind is always focusing on your own safety. Emotionally,
But again,
physically.
that comes back to me being your brain's an asshole, because it pushes negative stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference there between the heart and the brain. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Your heart's gonna be telling you hey, do this, and then your brains are all like, no, but that's risky, no, shit. But balancing those two is fucking learning to dance tango with someone who
learning to dance,
which we have experienced. Were you there when we did that?
No, I wasn't. I heard about the tango post fact.
Yeah,
we can do it afterwards if you want.
Well,
we got a big empty room.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god, that did.
Hey, I enjoy dancing. I've never done tango, but it was just a plain example, by the way.
Yeah. But no, we crashed. Me and a few of the others from the course accidentally crashed at Café en Seine, or en Seine, whatever you pronounce it. Café en Seine, yeah. We crashed a ballroom dancing lessons. We didn't. I invited everyone there. And I didn't realize, because I know that Café en Seine is a club.
Oh yeah.
But that day it wasn't a club, it was just a weekday, and they had dancing lessons on. So we went in there and we got some drinks, and then two of our friends went off and decided to dance with the other guys. Didn't realise it was lessons or whatever. But then they ended up inviting us to do the lessons with them, gave us a free lesson. And oh my god, it was so incredible.
Oh, I'm
the
jealous,
way they explained what dancing means and how you can use it to express yourself and free your body, and
I used to dance a lot. I was a belly dancer for 4 years. It really, and then I got into martial arts. But dancing has a totally different thing. It's it's pure expression with movement. And you reconnect with your own body and the harmony that you can create with your own mind body thing, so it's amazing what you can do with it.
I think comfort within your body, within your own skin, literal
that's
comfort
also
within your own
a
skin is a
lot
huge
of
part of the happiness.
Oh, definitely.
I think the happiest moments I've had in my life have been really physically fit.
Yeah, exactly the same with me. The times when I've been exercising every day, that's when I've been happiest. But it's obviously I love food, and I love sitting down. I love sleeping.
I think to me it was more when I was the most fit in my life, I was really depressed. So I was using working out and training as an escape. But as a consequence of putting me in such a good mood in the long run, the rest of my life kind of started to fall back together. So I've noticed something interesting about that is when you kind of align your the basic aspect, your physical aspect, kind of the rest of you sort of starts to align too. Because that lasted for a year. It wasn't that I was happy because I was looking fit and I could do fucking 100 push-ups or any of that, or that I felt sexy as fuck. That was just one part of the equation. It was also the fact that I was confident, so I was meeting new people. I was also more sure what I wanted to do. I ended a 6-year relationship at the time, so I was okay, no, I'm changing. This is suddenly redirecting me to something that's gonna make me happier. So it all started by having that time in the day where I knew that I had like that connection with myself through my physical body.
Yeah.
And then like, so it was like building up this snowball of like positivity, and then it amplifies. And I think I like to believe it started because I said like I want to escape from all this bollocks, so I just want to focus on being like as grounded physically as I can. So I was exercising like a fucking beast. Master had me training 6 hours a day, like fucking 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great times. But when I look back now, I think like I was really, really happy back then because I felt like my purpose was just getting healthy.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it to look good. I was doing it because it made me feel good.
Yeah.
And as a consequence, the rest of my life became better. So, like, I think there's a lot in the healthy aspect, the way we look after ourselves that we're define. I love how happy we are.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for martial arts, like kind of putting you in a good mindset. Because I did ninjutsu for 9, nearly 10 years. And that was a massive confidence boost to me again at the time, because it was a time when I was like being like bullied quite badly in primary school. So kind of like that sort of fulfillment that you have within yourself, and like the discipline that comes along with martial arts to like get you into a good headspace. Like helps you out an awful lot, I think, definitely. I mean it kind of is one of those a little bit of introspective things where like after you're kind of done with it, you like learn more about yourself, like while you're doing it, and you learn like proper respect for everybody else that's around you, and the merits that there are in helping out, you know, the younger people who come in and they're a bit stuck, or they're a bit unhappy themselves, and you bring them around. And it's a place where everybody like, you know, just kind of like gets together, and they all like, you know, we work hard for an hour. And everybody feels better afterwards. Then we all leave and come back again and do it all next week.
Again, purpose and in a group. So, it's funny how it.
And we get swords. That's like an extra benefit.
And the next day you're all complaining about how sore you are from the previous day. Like I remember that from my dojo so well. I was like, I'm still feeling my legs from 2 days before. Me too.
That's how you know it works.
Yeah, it becomes addictive.
Yeah,
it's absolutely addictive.
Yeah. No, I love the feel of like.
Just we forget how much.
No pain, no gain.
I think something that leads us astray from happiness, I have to mention this, is the fact that we ended up disconnecting from the things because we forget how happy they make us.
Yeah.
So that's something that happens to me when it comes to working out, exercising, training. Is like when I'm there, I'm like, this is amazing. How could I live my life without this? Oh my God, every day, every morning. And then one day I decide to, hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And instead of going to, the dojo, I go to the cinema. I'm like, I love doing this shit. Oh my God, And then the next week I miss training because I remember that the memory of being with my friends was more fun than training.
Yeah.
So you kind of like lead yourself astray mentally because another better memory overlaps how good that one was. That happens to me all the time.
Same. I've definitely done that, and I feel bad afterwards because
me too.
I should be like, you know, practicing more, and I'm not.
Same here, but then I think like, hey, I actually lived something else.
Yeah.
So like you're still gathering happy experiences.
It's a work-life balance then, isn't it? Like,
exactly. Because even though you missed out on training, that's fine because you had a chance to share stuff with people and to your friends, and that's also life. So
work and no play.
That's a very good thing, the work-life balance.
I
do feel that now that I have a job now, which I only got my first job this year, and I felt much more fulfilled, you know, having a job and making money than I ever did when I was unemployed or whatever
probably would.
Yeah, just didn't have a job state I was in before. Because you do feel like every day you're putting in work that is improving you in some way. You're learning new skills. Because even though I've been doing the same job for like 8 or 9 months now, I still learn new things every single day. You know, I work at a cinema, you know, and that's
it's such a cool job for a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I always thought that you're
that's
right
like
up
the dream.
point there.
Wait, what?
I always felt like you're like in the dreams place for like a like a film student working in a cinema. It's like
I feel like you only found out what his job was a couple days ago.
No, I knew that from long ago, but I always thought about that when he told me like, no, I'm working. I'm like, where do you work? I'm in the cinema. I'm like, that's like so perfect fit.
It's the goal, isn't it?
At least in this stage where you are, like being a student and everything, it's like the best thing because you're getting like, at least in the marketing aspect, you get experience of how a cinema works. It wasn't until third year that they gave us an idea of how it works. But my whole life it was like, film's everything. But I was like, how do the cinemas actually work?
How do I get paid?
Stuff.
I mean, it's all very well and good. I mean, like, at the end of the day, this is how we want to put bread on the table.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
so-
money. Let's talk about money now.
Let's talk about money
we live
and
in a,
happiness.
we live in a society.
Let's transition to
We
some
live in
Pink, let's put on some Pink Floyd, folks. We're
This
going to talk
is
about
this
money.
is getting good.
We live in a capitalist society, okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of people equate having lots of money to happiness. Now, I would say that is somewhat, that there is truth to that, because having lots of money in our society means that you have
safety,
it
freedom.
means you have freedom, exactly. It's freedom,
safety,
exactly
freedom,
what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Because you can, if you have lots of money, you can do whatever you want with
Yeah.
that money. You can go on holidays if you want to. You can
Yeah,
buy
freedom.
the material goods that make you happy
Yeah.
if they do, which that's a whole other story. You know, we can talk
Yeah.
about how we're buying different clothes that makes you represent yourself in a better way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes you happy. But that might also be that you can show off your money, which makes you happy because you like to be able to show off your
Yeah,
status,
yeah.
because it makes you feel like people like you more or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's another thing of happiness.
Should start like taking note of all the potential topics for upcoming
Yeah.
podcasts.
Do you guys
That's
think
the
that?
list.
Do you guys think that if right now you were given tax free like 10 million, would you be happier?
Oh,
Would your life end up being happier in the long run?
I can definitely say yes to that because I always like to exercise my mind in terms of that because I know people can get really greedy with money and that like brings out the worst in people. But I believe that it can also bring out the best in people. Like if you ask me, like it's always going to be dependent on a person's value. But
Yeah.
I'd be happy to know that I can invest that in other people that are meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Future projects, things, permaculture is one of my goals.
Yeah.
So like in my concept, it's like, okay, I would just use that to like fire up stuff. Like obviously an investment kind of thing. I wouldn't be thinking like, but that's just really me personally. I'm not judging people who like blowing up their money doing stuff. Like I think
Sitting
money
with the
should just
master,
be
yeah?
Going to 5
money
concerts.
should be like a balance, but sometimes it's really difficult, you know. But like
Yeah.
I believe I would be happy because that would reassure me that I can steer things in a certain direction
Yeah.
as long as I do it wisely. But
I would say, me personally, if I was given 10 million euros now, I would like to think that I would use it well, and that I'd invest it in films, and I'd
Yeah.
use that to springboard a wonderful career. But I think that learning the lessons that I'm learning now, and will continue to learn because I'm very slow at learning how to spend money correctly, is going to be better for me than getting all the money I need now, because in the long run, I will have skills that I've learned by having to go through this process, and I will go through all the struggle, hashtag, of living a quote-unquote normal life and doing things the difficult way. Whereas if I was given money now, I probably would be too secure, and I probably wouldn't try as hard to
That's
make
true.
great work, because I'd
Yeah.
think, I don't need to make work to make
Yeah.
money, so I'll just take some
Lace.
time off and I'll go
Yeah,
on
yeah.
holiday and I'll forget
Again.
about that. And I'd probably forget about all the things that drove me to want to be, a successful filmmaker. Obviously, I want
Yeah.
to make tons of money,
Yeah.
but my main goal is to make art, as it were, that
Yeah.
has an impact on people,
Yeah.
that influences the world, and that also represents the way I see the world, and brings people together and has some kind of
Yeah.
impact.
That's a very mature way of seeing things because, I've always thought about like, young actors, for example, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Good boy.
He's when he made it in Harry Potter, he was like, okay, this guy's gonna be secure for the rest of his life. And I remember when I was like 20 at the time, and I was like, I'd shoot myself. I feel so bored. I'm like, what do I do now with all this money?
Yeah.
Like, I feel I would lose my purpose based on all the amount of safety I have.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with what you're saying. But I think as you go along, you kind of like, you can expand your mind in the ways you see money.
Yeah.
So you start thinking like about other people, at least in my case. I would love to like retire my dad. Like, although he's okay.
Put him out to pasture.
Yeah, I'd be there like that. I love you, Dad.
You done your time over here.
No, it's just to give him a break.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good way of saying things as well, because I am thinking on the other hand now, like if I did have a ton of money, if you did like, get a ton of money right now, then you wouldn't have to worry about money again. You
Yeah.
could, make sure that your family and your friends were comfortable around you.
Yeah.
You could have all the experiences that you want to have, and then with all that security, with maybe a house or whatever, then you could focus fully on your work, and you wouldn't have to worry about the nitty gritty. Obviously, like I enjoy my job, and I enjoy the fulfillment of learning new skills every day. But at the same time, the fact that I have to work 35 hours a week and I have to, I'm doing life, night shifts and what have you, and I don't have a lot of other time to go out. Also, don't have the money to go out anymore.
Yeah. You will later on.
Yeah, I'll get better at spending my money, but
you only have to get bitten once with that whole. That feeling.
Yeah. That's a lesson you'll just learn once, and it's just as good as you get it.
Yeah. But no, I do think that it is a bit of it. It has been, as I said earlier on, like recently I haven't been feeling too happy in my life. I've been feeling probably as depressed as I've ever felt. Partly it's because of money issues, not like going broke and not being able to go on a vacation that I wanted to go on next month, and laying down a friend because of that. And but it's also just having to go into work every day and not being able to do the other things that I want to do with my time, not being able to do the creative work that I want to do. And again, I do enjoy my job and I'm glad that I have it, but at the same time, just the feeling of having to work does take away from that freedom. But hopefully that also gives me something to strive to. One day I will have that freedom, and that's what my goal is. That's what my my dream is, to be successful enough where I have the freedom to just create as much as I want, and to take the time to.
I'd say that alone should be like enough motivation to feel happy about having to put in the effort in something. Yeah. Because if you know that's going to lead you somewhere, it should be trigger enough for you to have like enough drive to do it, and not feel feel effortless. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like once you're really aware of like the core reason why you're doing something, things become like absolutely effortless. Yeah. At least I've been able to experience that like a few times. It's like I love this so much, so like if I love it so much, it doesn't feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Yeah. But like obviously when you're doing a job you don't want to do, because like there's this quote that I love says, do what you have to do and then do what you want to do. Yeah. Like it's pretty difficult, but I think it's just like it gives you also a chance to train yourself in that way. It's like, okay, I feel miserable right now, but if I keep working hard and I don't know, save or whatever, or put my focus on doing this, I would eventually be in a better stage. So it's just looking at everything like a stepping stones kind of way. Yeah. But always connecting like the lines as to your daily life, work with like future stuff. So it's kind of like being somewhere, always projecting that forward. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of like what makes a difference. Yeah. I took a shitty job one time to be able to like, well, it wasn't shitty, it ended up being a good job. I wanted to go to the San Diego Comic-Con in 2011. Mm-hmm. And
did you end up going?
Yeah. Right, yeah, cool, I did. So I took like a full-time job even though I was in college. So I was both working full-time and in college part-time. So it was crazy because I would like have class in the morning and then I had to like pop in the office right after class was over, then go to class again in the evening. Wow. It was crazy.
That's commitment, like that's
I really wanted to go travel. It wasn't just a Comic-Con, we were also going to Disney and it was an overall group plan thing going there, also with the guy I was at the time. So to me it was like, okay, I know I have 6 months to make at least $700 so I can finance myself this trip. So every day that I got in my car, I was like, yeah, today I just make the money I need for, eventually in 2 weeks I get my full payment, and part of this goes to that little jar where I was saving money. So I was every day thinking like, okay, I know in a few months I'll be in fucking Disneyland with my friends. I know in a few months, on a morning like today, with the sun rising there, I'm gonna be going to the airport because my office at the time was on the way to the airport. So it was like
projecting towards
Yeah, exactly. I was like, one of these mornings this is gonna be me going to the airport. Well, someone's going to be driving me because I can't leave my car there for 2 weeks. And it's going to be doing the trip that I finally wanted to do. Jeez. So I think that was like a really good driving thing. When you have like a goal, you can see it kind of like not too far, not too short term. It really changed everything to me. It was like, okay. And then you know what happened? I ended up really liking that job. I was doing the sacrifice because I didn't want to work as a graphic designer at the time. I was like, I'm just going to do this because I need this credits for college also, because I needed to work in an agency to have be able to pass and shit. But I ended up really liking it, and the environment was great, and like when I look back at it now, I'm like, hey, I was also really happy back in those days because I ended up learning to like something based on the agenda that I had. So it ended up all being good. It's sort of like something else positive blossomed out of that. So it kind of helps. It always helps if you have a goal.
Yeah.
I'd say that what changes everything. I'd say.
Yeah. So we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds until we've been talking for an hour.
We can always go over, like, you know.
We definitely
yeah.
can, because I want to ask
Yeah.
a few more questions, so we're definitely going to go over.
Yeah.
Fuck the system.
Yeah,
I hope that
totally.
the audience is still entertained by what we're talking about, or at least getting some fulfillment out of it.
Refill your snacks, folks.
I've been really enjoying this so far.
Oh,
I
me
must say.
too.
That's
I
good.
love it. I love
because
it.
it's the first podcast, I feel like I have the liberty to talk about it being the first podcast. And this is hell yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's
Something
do
I
it
could
again.
definitely
We
do
should,
it
we
again,
should
like-
do this like every, I don't know, 2 weeks or like.
Yeah, like,
this will have a specific date. Here we go,
I do
guys.
want to have different guests on it. No offense,
Oh,
guys.
no,
But
it's
I'm
fine.
not have you guys back.
I need a break.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my fucking latte.
Maybe we could have some kind of rotation where we have different people.
Oh, yeah,
maybe,
no, totally.
Yeah. Maybe we could have a podcast where I get some of my friends from America to come on and talk with you guys as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Interesting one. But anyway, so we've been talking all about, like, obviously what makes us happy, what makes us fulfilled, what our purpose is. So the last few questions that I want to ask, first I want to go back into memories and you guys and me, of course, talk about the times in your life when you felt the happiest and what your happiest memories are and why that made you happy. And then I want to ask you what, maybe in a sentence, what you think your purpose in life is. It's not to reproduce. Give me a real purpose for you personally.
Deep. Okay, cool.
Maybe it is to maybe that's what you want to do. but,
All day.
Yeah.
Should
In
we,
the hills.
should we answer that or also answer that what has made us happy?
Okay, let's go with the memories one first.
Okay.
What is? We'll start with Sam first. Because
Yeah,
I've been sexist and I've started with Nayru every time. I'm kidding.
Go on, Sam.
He's got a thing against straight white guys. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's a self-hatred thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sam. What is that? What is? Give me two answers. Give me what is the time in your life, like an extended period of time when you were the happiest and why, and then give me your happiest single memory if you can think of one.
Oh God. Okay. Grab a seat. This is gonna take a while.
Okay, if you have your answer first, Nayru, say it.
My happiest memory.
Yeah.
My happiest memory.
Do you have one? Like on
I
top of your
have.
head?
That's the thing. I have loads of them.
Okay, well
I have a
that's
lot.
probably a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's like. Because I cheat a lot with lists when someone's, oh, what's your favorite movie? I'm like, I don't have a favorite, I have like a range of favorites.
Oh yeah, me too. Amen.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah,
Same
but
here.
it's the same thing with like memories and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like I can't pick one main happy memory. I have like a range of happy memories that I can like pick through.
Yeah.
But I think time in my life when an extended period of time when I was kind of at my happiest was. I was 16 and we'd gone on. This is gonna come back to my I learned to stop giving a shit comment that I made earlier. We were I was 16 and the transition years. One of the years that we have here, like here for you, it's called transition year. So it's like fourth year in school, right?
Yeah.
So excuse me. So my school always did like a skiing trip in that year. So yeah. So we went to Italy. Like up in the mountains kind of thing to go skiing, and we're all like we're all captive audience in this hotel, and one evening because we had like different stuff going on every night that was supposed to like keep us occupied and stuff because I couldn't let a bunch of 16-year-olds run rampant around the hotel.
Yeah, of course
Gee,
not.
Lord knows what they'd get up to.
Destroying Italy.
Destroying Italy. Army of 16-year-olds takes over Rome. Anyway. Yeah, so one night they do like a variety show kind of thing. And I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea, but I said, fuck it, I'll go up and I'll do stand-up. And I did, and I was just like straight with them at the start, like, yeah, the nerdy guy's gonna tell you all some jokes now, but yeah, fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
And it went well, worked the crowd, it went really nicely. And I think from then until I think even now, I'd say like that's kind of like the extended period in my life when I felt like the most happy because I became like sort of more fulfilled within myself. I kind of got it, if you know what I mean.
Clicked in.
Yeah, I learned to not not care as much and just be a lot more kind of open with other people about the things that I liked and what interested me, and yeah, just all that kind of thing. So yeah, from like middle of the time when I was 16 up until I think maybe either present day or before the leaving cert kicked in, because the leaving cert is shit for everybody.
Yeah.
Like that there's a stress that gets put on everybody, and everybody's morale and mood just like fucking goes so far down, it goes down to China. But that was an extended period. And for happiest memory, can I cheat and go range of favorites?
Sure.
No?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say it's
You
because
can do that too if
it's
you
really
want.
yeah. I'm gonna do that because I have like a series of moments in different times.
No, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Like it's hard
yeah.
to say.
Maybe the
yeah.
better question is just what in the past has made you the happiest? Because maybe there's a link between all the different
Oh
things.
yeah, there is a link. There's
Yeah.
always like a common thing.
Yeah, the link is hanging out with people that I like.
Yeah,
You know,
for me, yeah. Sort of
Same,
hanging out with
same,
friends.
Friends. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just laughter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
laughter.
Like
Laughter, freedom.
Yeah.
hell yeah. Like
Freedom
Outdoors.
is a good thing to add to it. Mine are all indoor memories. I don't think any of my best memories happened in
Outdoors?
the open air.
Most of mine were in the open
Yeah.
air. That's crazy.
Mine, I think mine are half and half. Like one, let's see. One would be like the group of when I had like an actual group of friends. Like when I finally found a proper group in secondary school, and our
Yeah.
first outing together was a barbecue at a friend's house. That's definitely one.
Yeah.
Going to Baltimore for a convention with friends that I'd only ever spoken to through Skype.
Yeah.
And having a friend of mine from England come over and stay with me, and all of us going over together as a
amazing.
unit, fucking amazing. That's definitely one. Working on the movies that we've done here, that's definitely lovely because like every single time we've done something, it's always been unique and it's always been something new has been brought to the table, and it's always been an interesting, fun experience. Are there any more? Those like the main ones that are sticking out in my head right now, but.
Yeah.
The link that we're gonna go with for me, I think definitely is the fact that I'm spending time with people that I enjoy their company and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's me.
That's a recurrent thing.
Yeah.
And life is about relationships with people. So
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it goes. For me, it's
We're looking at you now.
oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
noticed.
can't
I was
see
like,
there's no
I'm gonna
camera,
dodge
but we are all
this.
looking at
There's
it
so
now,
much
yeah.
stuff in my box. Like gosh. Okay, so many of them are. I grew up. I say I grew up, but I actually spent every weekend of my life as a childhood in the countryside.
Okay.
So the way I feel it is like I grew up there.
Yeah.
Even though I was born in the city, I was always really, really connected to the countryside because it was there for months when it was summertime and stuff.
Yeah.
My grandparents had a house in this valley, and a lot of the best memories I have are there. I used to hang out when I was around. Was it 12, 13 that I was starting to have more friends, and a lot of them actually had like homes, like summer houses around the area and stuff. So we would all like cycle to each other's house to play like video games, or we would like. Or my grandma was really strict in several things, so during the day she wouldn't let us play inside the house. So it was like, okay, we're gonna play outside all day and go like cycling, and we would go like up a mountain hiking, or we would go like to the store and buy like ice cream, because that's a big thing in in Panama. If you live in the countryside, your parents or your grandma or whoever is always gonna send you to the store to get something, and you take the chance to buy candy there or ice cream or something.
Yeah.
So it was usually like outdoors during the day and indoors video gaming in the evening, which was absolutely great, and it was days of that. I spent my summer doing that stuff, and we also had like this big trampoline. And we would like hang out there. When we were older, we weren't even jumping. We were just hanging out there. My friends were like just eating, snacking there, and like talking about life, and just sometimes just staring at the sky, because we lived like in this really big property, and it was like really open. It had like a forest area. It had a river that came through it. So also moments with my family, New Year's, and there, gosh, everything. And then the quad bikes. A lot of outdoor stuff with my family, with friends. Yeah. Like so to me, it's like outdoors and family, that kind of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, in my head, a happy ending to me, it's always like my family, my friends, mountaintop sunset, and the quads. I mean, it obviously doesn't. Oh, come on, I have loads of other indoor happy memories too, loads of them. But those are the most significant one, like right now, because I'm really nostalgic right now. In general, I'm very, very nostalgic this time of the year. So, and those goes from like me being a kid, like I was born in what? Yeah, I didn't know that. My whole life, sorry, we're running out of time, sorry. No, yeah, I was for the 89, but I was always in that house from like until it was sold, and it was sold when I was 15, and that was like devastating for me. It was like, horrible. Like, it's kind of like a trauma, because then a lot of things in different places reminded me of the house, and it made me feel sad.
Yeah.
So like there was like a big imprint in that sense in me. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, okay, I know those are the things that I want to look into that would eventually lead me to a happy life. those are the elements.
Mm.
So like it's all those memories as a kid and your inner child saying like, hey, no, this is what made me happy. So you kind of like build your values based on that, but those have to be it.
Yeah.
They're usually my friends, or escaping, like sneaking out. It's like, okay, let's go out, and then like with my friends and stuff, and then Jesus, once they caught us when we were back.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like it's just priceless, you know. And then there were other times when after the house was sold, I finally found like a group of friends who we would get together to like draw comics. We would write stories. We have this manga thing that we wanted to produce someday and everything. And those were also like the best times because I didn't have the house anymore, but they all lived in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was like a really quiet neighborhood, very safe. So we were always wandering around the street and stuff, and we were like get together and draw and paint, and like it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It all involved people, obviously, creative work, and outdoors.
Yeah.
But I can go on if you want to. It's also memories
like,
I have traveling.
I'm just thinking about my, like,
Yeah.
so I didn't prepare any of this when I started the podcast. I wanted to go in completely without any preparation, without any organization, so that I could say what was on my mind. But then
Keep it real here.
when I asked you guys the question, I started thinking about my answers to what are my happiest memories. And I have a few that really stand out, but there's so many different things, and most of them involve my friends or hanging out with my friends or my family. And the most of them are just pretty simple things, like, you know, the first time I ever played Apples to Apples with my family, back when that was edgy before Cards Against Humanity. You know? Did you ever play that?
What the hell's Apples to Apples?
It's like the kids' version of Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my god.
So you just get the green cards are like adjectives and the red cards are nouns.
Yeah.
So it's like name something that's smelly or something that's cool or something.
Oh god, actually, sorry. Can I add like one more? While
Of course. I'm gonna start coming back now.
Christmas Day, Costa Rica.
You told me the story.
I'd convinced. Yeah, but I haven't told them the story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. This is really like happy thing there.
I'd convinced my parents to buy me Cards Against Humanity. Mm-hmm. They had no idea what it was. So we're in this like ranch in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's a waterfall right next to us, river kind of going past, and it's like a ranch with like cowboys and stuff like that. So we wake up, you know, I get the cards and that kind of thing, and it's pissing rain outside. So I'm like, we'll set it on the deck and we'll just like play a game of cards. And for the next 2 hours, I watched 2 grown adults piss themselves laughing over playing Cards Against Humanity. Probably one of the most beautiful experiences of my entire life. You don't see like real happiness until you see your father in tears, like tears of joy, playing a card game.
Man.
So it's so good.
I must say, like, thinking back at the happiest times I've been, you mentioned freedom as being part of yours earlier.
Yeah, that's...
The funny thing is, when I think of all my happiest moments, most of them involve either me and my friends or me and my family laughing at things that before that one moment had been too edgy for someone to mention, but someone mentioned it. Or we played Apples to Apples. At the time, that was edgy. Yeah. But because it had cards like Helen Keller or like Anne Frank, and that was putting that card down for a category was edgy. But obviously, Cards Against Humanity just made that completely.
Oh man,
blew it out of the water. But a lot of other favorite memories of mine is like, you know, when me and my friends first read like 4chan green check stories to each other for the first time. Like really offensive, terrible stuff. But the laughter. Like I remember one of my friends like driving us home and like having trouble like driving properly because he was crying with laughter and how funny the stories were. And just other memories that are similar to that. Like I remember just times like watching anime with my friends or playing D&D.
It's always friends.
Or playing. I remember especially playing PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. That was one of my favorite games.
Old school.
That was That's like it's the better version of Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers! Don't get me started with Smash Brothers, dude.
We may throw down after this.
We have to have an entire like unpopular opinions cast because I could go into like 3 hours of prequel talk.
I'm sure you could. You'll do it.
But just memories like that, and memories just playing games with my family, just everyone being together, everyone having a good time, good food, good people, good laughter. There are a few a bit more serious happy memories. Like I remember once, last summer, there was a time when me and all my friends in America on our group chat, we had like a night where we all, basically, I don't know who started, I feel like I shared something and everyone started sharing like really deep, like secrets and stuff about themselves that they'd never shared before, and
Yeah.
everyone started like talking about their feelings for the first time.
Yeah.
Because we're all kind of introverted, nerdy people that don't really talk about our feelings much.
Yeah.
And when that happened for the first time, it felt like such a freeing
relief.
night. And, and you could just see everyone, people that I hadn't talked to for ages, just
That's amazing.
giving their entire life stories. And it was like,
that's like, I have to
so
say something.
good.
I'm really envious because like last time I had that, that's also one of my happiest memories of. I need to add this, by the way.
Yeah.
One of my happiest memories of this year was that weekend at your place.
oh, that was so good.
Well, the
D&D. Last time we were at your house.
I corrupted Nayru over here into actually playing D&D for the first time.
Cafe, if you're listening to this, I hope you are really proud of me.
I'm very proud. Oh.
Like, I'm very sure you're gonna be proud of me, okay?
A little girl's growing up. Oh shit.
But that night when we ended up sharing like DMC stuff, the meaningful conversation stuff.
Oh fuck yeah.
I remember we wanted to like watch a crappy film and like criticize it, and that was fun as fuck. But then we ended up...
It would still be really funny. If we end up watching, I'm gonna buy Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl because my dad is a vinyl player now. Blind Side of the Mall. So I'm gonna buy Dark Side of the Moon and we're gonna watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 synced with Dark Side of the Moon to see if it is as much of a Nirvana experience.
Amazing. I know that's already gonna be a good day.
It's gonna be great. Oh man, I'm so.
I was so happy about that. I was dope for days after I came back.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this weekend felt like a dream. Like for the first time in a long time, I felt like I finally had a place that belongs somewhere, and that I can also emotionally connect with people.
Yeah.
Like I know you guys drink. I don't drink, so like a lot of experiences I had socializing in Ireland to me were kind of sad because I was always like, okay, I'm the non-drinker, and many times when you like interact with people, they're not really themselves.
Yeah.
So to me, I had a lot of disappointment, socially speaking, in Ireland in that sense, because I was like, oh, okay, I met new people today, and they're cool and stuff, and then they were not the person I thought they were.
Yeah.
And there was never really like a deep connection with them in any sense, and I ended up so disappointed because I felt like I needed that.
Yeah.
That was most of my social life the last 2 years here. Like, and I felt that weekend there at your house, it was like, wow. Okay, I can be me here. They don't mind that I'm this crazy, weird person with spiritual beliefs.
We're all about crazy. Have you met the two of us?
Yeah, I have a sense. So like, I love that, and well, it's also funny. I was the only girl there, but it didn't bother me at all. Like, it never has. I've grew up surrounded by men, so
yeah.
But it was something so like, wow, like to me it was like this was all I needed all along. You know, it hit the spot so well. Like so. It is those times when people get together that changes everything. But when there's like genuine connection, when there's deep, serious connection, not just that you're all like, I don't know, talking about superficial shit or being under like, you know, the state of some heavy drug or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But, and like to me that fucks up everything because you're all like, okay, this wasn't it.
Yeah, you're giggly. Yeah, well, I mean, like you can spot it pretty easy though. Like if someone's like a bit too giggly, it's just like, we're gonna put you down over here for like an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
and
you can be giggly and like, you know, eat the bag of crisps or whatever, and then we'll talk in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. But I was so socially naive in that sense. I was so socially naive, and I'm like, okay, I got, you know, I pretty much got what I needed now. But it was sometimes we don't think about how far something we give to somebody else goes through positively. Like obviously negatively it can go really far, but positively it can also change you, you know.
Yeah.
It can also bring you back to a point where you're like, man, I am loved, I am accepted.
Yeah.
I have somewhere I belong, you know. And that's also what's the freaking formula for happiness, you know.
I think that's being loved and accepted is the thing that drives all of us.
Magic formula.
Oh yeah, basic need. It's just us breathing. Like, if you ask me.
I think a lot of mine, this is getting into deep insecurities, but a lot of my drive to be successful definitely comes from wanting to prove to people that, you know, I can do it, you know.
Same here. I wanted that award.
Because I remember when I was a very little kid, this is going very back into deep psychology.
Oh dear.
Go on, please.
But like when I was a little kid, I was really loud. I was always crying. I was a know-it-all. I was obsessed with you as well. I was obsessed with dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Oh man,
me too. I was obsessed with dinosaurs.
But I would always go around like I'd be really annoying to the teachers and to my friends and to adults.
Asking stuff.
But like giving them facts about dinosaurs. They wouldn't know this fucking shit. What I was talking about these fucking dinosaurs. But I was so into it, and then everyone would like ignore me because I was so annoying.
Yeah.
And since then, I've had like a complex in me where I like to basically prove that, you know, me being introverted and reading a lot and well, I don't read that much anymore. I need to read more, but like spending a lot of time in fantasy worlds and in my own world, that is something that could make me do great things.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Proving myself to everyone else who, I guess,
no, definitely
has a more traditional.
Oh yeah, totally.
Social
So,
life
some
when
of
they're a
the
kid.
some of the really happy memories I have are also like time I spend by myself, like daydreaming,
Yeah,
working on my own stories.
Yeah.
Like
I used to play basketball outside of my house in America when I was in middle school, and I would just be on my own shooting hoops outside of my house. People made fun of me for just doing that alone, but like those are the most peaceful days of my life.
So you just switch
I
off.
spent hours there,
Yeah.
and I would literally, I'd even talk to myself. I would make film scripts out loud and just,
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, we all do that.
Crazy
Yeah.
people like.
Yeah, and some of those ideas I'm still working on today.
Just so long as you don't answer yourself back, you're all right.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, Sam. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
I've done that.
You've done that?
Yeah.
Okay, we may need to have a chat off camera.
We've done 20 minutes on that one question. We've still got more questions left.
Oh.
This is an hour and 20 minutes in.
I can go all day on this stuff.
Okay,
The last question was, I want you to give me a one sentence answer. None of this rambling bullshit. Give me a one sentence answer.
Ramble. You know we're gonna
one
ramble,
sentence
right?
answer. What is your purpose in life? You.
Okay.
You can give me like a few things. It doesn't have to be one sentence, but give me a short answer. Give me, if you could only pick like, if Time Magazine is ever going to do like a cover on you,
Time Person of the Year.
Oh my goodness!
What would it be? Your thing.
It's
the thing
really
that drives you.
Jesus, what drives me?
Yeah. Time Person of the Year, Nayru Analisa Marquez.
Right now, what drives me?
Yeah.
Connection drives me.
Okay.
Connection to other people so that I can achieve a connection with myself.
That's a good answer.
So it's
That's the end of your answer. It's a short answer. No, if you have any more to say, I'm kidding.
Yeah, because like that's really, and I'm really putting myself in a box there because there's much more of where that comes from. It motivates me because I feel like in order for you to grow, in order for you to like really, expand, you need to make connection.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's something that I finally realized at this point, because I used to be very like, oh no, yeah, people are cool, but I like my alone time, shoot. But then then you realize that life is relationships.
Yeah.
So like in order for you to make also an impact with the world, you need to put yourself through connection with the world. And the more you do that, the more reflections you get of yourself through the people you meet. So like right now, that's probably the best answer I can give you. Of course, there's also filmmaking and artsy stuff and nerdy things behind all of that, but that's probably it. I want my work to make people connect themselves.
Yeah.
One thing I love about film is the process of how you go from, okay, table work, okay, field work, okay, let's move around like crazy, set everything up, shoot, 3 days, everybody killing themselves, and then it's like, guys, it's ready, let's go watch it together, woo! It's like celebration. Like I love the aspect of celebration that a workflow in the nature of film has. I love that because it makes people get together for like specific purpose and just like, enjoy all the hard work and really like also get motivation to do something else altogether. So I just absolutely love that. And it's really fulfilling in the sense of a career. That's what changed everything for me. I quit graphic design for something that was much more emotionally fulfilling, and where there was connection. So if the content I make can kind of show that connection for people to like want to achieve connection, then I feel like that's kind of like where my job would be done. Or, keeping it moving. Because it's always, you can't say like your job's done. No, there's always going to be something else.
You're always working on something else.
Yeah, there's always more stuff that's going to keep coming. So that's...
I know that too well, working on like 20 things at once. Never get one thing finished because you're moving one thing to the next one.
Excessive motivation.
Well, keep that connection driving though. That's very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's a reflection of all of this connection, I feel.
Yeah.
So like that there is a shadow there, but that's just reason why there's a lot of shadows in the sense of that's a lot of the root cause of like my anxiety, my depression, if I get so insecure socially. So it's like connection. That's everything right now. Towards connection.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Burke. Emerald-comet himself.
Emerald-comet
What's your
himself.
purpose?
I'm going to say that it's somewhat similar to what you said there about bringing people together for a film, but it's more so what I give to the people who watch it.
Yeah.
I probably against logical things in my brain telling me that I'm a fucking idiot. I like people. I like being around other people, and I like understanding why people do the things that they do, and like kind of diving into more like psychological stuff, like that kind of thing. So I like to, in everything that I make, put into my stories, like, I want to make all my characters, like, very human, for lack of a better term. And, like, sort of bring out those, like, kind of emotions that anybody can really feel, and, like, make films that are very, very heavily emotionally driven. And have that emotion then, like, you know, feed into the audience that are then watching it, and for them to, you know, get a feeling out of watching my work. Yeah. So I would say that that's kind of like what I think my main purpose is to create things that will give back to other people, make them feel something, and kind of, you know, maybe like either make them sort of figure something out about themselves, or think about something a little bit differently, or influence them to you know, do something, you know, good that they might not have normally done before, or kind of anything like that, you know. Like, you know, have a good movie that I was listening to an interview with Ethan Hawke the other day, and he said that, like, I think I told you this, but he basically said that someone told him once that a good movie starts as soon as you walk out of the theater. Yeah. And, if I can get people, like, for you know, watching my films, and, like, 6 months afterwards be like, hey, like this bit that happened here. That would be. If I heard somebody do that, I'd be like, yeah, that's good, I can die happy now. And then I like ascend to Valhalla or whatever.
I agree with that. I want to move people with the stuff I give to them. Like if I make someone cry in a cinema, my job's done.
Exactly. I've got like all ideas for like an animated show that I want to do, which would be like, I won't give away too many details here, but like an animated show that would be like sort of like on the cusp between, like, say, young adult and kids, like being able to watch it and that kind of thing. And if one person like comes to me and it's like, yeah, my son was watching your show, it's really good, but he cried in one episode. It was like, I did my job, right? I'm really sorry about your kid, but I'll take that as a win for me.
It has to be like I think a big problem now in society is that people don't let themselves feel. Just feel whatever, you know. We're taught to not feel.
For me with movies, it's all like when I watch a movie, the plot is like fifth on my list of things that are important to me. I care about how the movie makes me feel. I care about the tone, the atmosphere. I care about the mood. I don't care about what happens as much as the other things. And when when you asked me about a movie I watched a week ago, I could not tell you what happened in that movie, but I can tell you if the movie made me feel good, bad, inspired, motivated, any of these things. And that's how I decide whether or not I like the movie. And the movies that I want to make stuff that, you know, that has an atmosphere that connects people to a part of themselves in the universe that, I don't know, gives them a sense of belonging or space, or it gives them an understanding of something. And obviously a lot of the stuff I make is like cringy comedies, and it's intentionally cringy stuff.
Captain Cringe, now available on Gambas TV.
Oh yeah.
But that's because I believe that, you know, meme culture is an important part of the modern world, and the thing for me, and my answer to the purpose question is probably greatness. I believe that everyone has something great in them, and everyone's life is important, and your life is the only life that you're going to have, so you might as well try and be great and do great things, and be a part of something big, be a part of something bigger than yourself, but also try and make yourself the biggest yourself that it can be. Of course, within the confines of being a good person, which is you know, a journey.
You're absolutely right.
But that's what I like. All the stories that I want to make are all focused on people who are very distinct and have their own unique characteristics that make them special in some way. I believe everyone is special. Everyone has the right to be special. But also, we also have to all work together to, you know, make the world run as smoothly as it possibly can. You know, it's
I think that
6 out of 10 right now.
6 out of 10.
It's really positive score.
6 out of 10.
I say we like
slightly above average.
I say in terms of you know, when it comes to morals and values of someone that like a filmmaker, I think we have so much, like, thinking in that point of view that we want to kind of like make a change in the world. Tools like media, like cameras. This is so much power what we have in our hands.
Oh fuck yeah.
Because we were talking earlier about the whole sexual revolution thing.
Yeah.
The media is 100% what drives most of my
exactly.
insecurities and
So like
anxieties
if people same with me. Like women are educated, like, no, you gotta be able to get all the guys to look at you, and that's what.
This is the virgin.
Like, you can do a whole other episode of it's like just about memes, but how memes like relate shit in the real world.
Oh my god.
Changing the topic,
fucking dudes.
Oh my god.
40-minute long discussion on we live in a society meme. Not right now.
Yeah, I know.
No, we'll have another episode about what we talk about, like our favourite memes or whatever. Oh my god, I could go for an hour talking about I love Filthy Frank, but that's another story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I feel there's like a lot that, like, I don't know, I say maybe 20 years from now, the media is going to change so hardcore because of all the crap that's been coming out now, and the people are suddenly becoming so aware of it.
Well, media is constantly changing.
Yeah, I know.
Media now is like different from how it was 20 years ago, which is different from how it was 20 years ago before that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I haven't seen this movie, but like, it was an eye-opener what they were saying about. It's a movie called Network. And Network is basically a movie about like this news reporter who like he's frustrated with things that are going on in the world, and he basically says he says on a news report one day, like, look, I don't know what the fuck I should be doing about the Russians or the Germans or whatever the hell's going on, but I know that first of all you gotta get angry. And then this woman comes on to me, he's like, we want you to like be on this show, and it's basically about how news devolves from being factual to being entertainment. Yeah. And when I look at like American media, I'm like, yeah, that happened. Because like, as far as I'm concerned, like, news should not be like an event. It's like this. Here's the weather, and like that's what I actually appreciate about like RTE News here. Is that like, this shit's happened. It'll be warm today. See you later. Whereas in America, it's like you have a 6-hour discussion.
Oh, Jesus!
The same shit, and you get on like all these like all these people, and like it's a circus.
It's so entertaining. It's so entertaining.
But like that's the thing.
News are like open debate in the US.
Yeah,
like, that's it.
It's. Because it's what that movie's about. It's devolved from being factual to being entertainment. And I don't think that it should be entertainment. It's like, you're right, here's shit, here's the weather. You know what I mean? Instead of like, let's get, a conservative and a liberal in the same building and have them yell at each other for 6 hours and nobody find a resolution to what the fuck we're gonna do. It's abysmal a lot of the time, I think. But that's something different. That's probably another topic we can go into another day.
So sometimes
that's an off the cuff thing about media.
Another dangerous thing is sometimes a lack of news is worse than too many news. In Panama, sometimes there's nothing going on and they make up shit to have something to broadcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They make up shit.
Yeah, they make up shit, but it's like so bad.
Like what?
Like okay, they go
to a
neighborhood.
He got a hole in one when he was 3.
Shit, like, I swear. Okay, they go to a neighborhood, and they go and ask about, like, how is the pipelines working in that area? And they're like, no, this has been shit for 20 years, why are you asking me that now? It's like, today we're going to put it in the news because there's nothing else going on. And they do it. And they're interviewing people in the neighborhood, like, how is life to you when it comes to, like, drinking water from your house, or how do you manage to do this? There's loads of, like, poverty in Panama, so they take the chance to go into that stuff when there's nothing else going on, and that stuff's been there and nobody has done anything about it for years, so it's kind of like, you know what I mean, like, it's not only that, it's useless waste of resources.
Yes.
You could be doing so much more with that, like, and it's just sad, it comes to that.
No, definitely.
Damn.
I don't know how we got from happiness to media, but I like that transition.
Yeah, well, we can save the media talk for another episode.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm going to say...
Consider this a sneak peek, folks.
Yeah, we've been talking for 90 minutes now. We'll probably talk after the recording has stopped.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for coming onto this podcast. I've had a really good time today.
Me too.
And I definitely want to be doing this every day for the rest of my life.
More than welcome.
I'm double booked tomorrow.
But no, I've had a good time talking about happiness, and I think it's a good start to our podcast. We'll see what the reaction to it is, if there is any reaction. I'll send it to everyone. Of course, you know how much I spam my social media. So this has been Cameron Johnson for Gambas TV. Would you guys like to... What's the opposite of introduction? De-introduce yourself?
Outroduction.
Outroduction.
You're going to outro yourself, yeah? Any last words? Oh, actually, I had another question I forgot about. These could be your last words. My question was, give me 5 things, like 5... like hobbies or items or things, just 5 things that make you happy off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, my family, my friends, my doggos, because they're a warm sunshine of life.
You don't have to explain how good dogs
are. There's a plush that I have of Emerald Comet that's beside my bed that I like have around as like a means for like even if. Because like the channel is like a side hustle. Yeah. But like I'll always look back on that and be like, that was like the point where I thought to myself, I'm gonna do something in a creative medium. Yeah. That's gonna be my job for the rest of my life. I'll always look at that fucking like dumb green unicorn with like the big poofy hair and be like, that's where it started. I can point to that.
That's amazing. That's a great thing to have.
You can't, by the way, for this, you can't pick the same things that he picks. So family and friends,
fuck's
dogs,
sake.
they're gone. Gone.
I'm not supposed to
God.
swear for it.
I've been cursing this entire podcast.
You're not allowed to
I
be
don't
made
care.
happy by your family and friends again. Sam
Okay,
already tapped
I
into it.
already
Yeah,
coined
Okay.
he got shotgun.
Okay, you know what? I like this. This is a great challenge for me.
I already coined the cliche.
So you got one more.
I got one more.
Family, friends, dogs, plush, and the fifth one.
My
Anything that makes you happy.
anything at all that makes me happy.
Literally being able to breathe is something that makes you happy, right, surely?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
I don't do
No,
cocaine.
sure.
I don't do cocaine.
Right.
You certainly have some attraction towards it.
The fifth one, is that what's your actual answer?
Oh, okay.
I'm joking about doing drugs on my show. That'll make you happy.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna run for cover now.
Making jokes. That's something that makes me happy. Being a goofy asshole. That's something that brings me an awful lot of joy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And that's all of it.
Alright.
Damn you.
Nayru.
You took 3 of those that were so important to me.
Yeah. But come on, give me some more specific things. Don't give me the
Yeah,
plus
do
one.
that. Okay,
That
no.
was the best one. Don't give me generalized things.
Okay.
Like you can't say Panama. Of course, it makes you happy. It's your
Oh
country.
yeah, no, yeah, no.
But
The
also
shape of that country. It's like a Scotty dog.
Well, I was gonna say the
It does look
concept.
like a Scotty dog.
the concept. That's a good start to one.
I was gonna say the concept of home, but then
Okay.
again, that has like multiplied and mutated and. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
That's one.
Home. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Nature.
Nature.
Yeah, definitely.
Art.
These are very specific. They're very, very generalized. I want specific things.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like- I don't know. The way my left headphone slides
Okay.
into my
Okay.
earphone.
Wait. I'll
It fits in the crevice so
tell you one that makes me really
It
happy.
forms
Okay.
perfectly.
Playing in my 3DS. My 3DS makes me happy.
Fuck
Very
yes.
nice, very nice.
Yeah. My 3DS. My camera makes me happy.
Okay, that's fine.
My art supplies.
That's it.
You're only allowed 5 happinesses.
No, I left the other ones really open. But
We're
it
gonna
was
put
just-
you like out to pasture now in a few seconds for like doing one extra.
Alright.
One
Vaporwave, Shrek memes.
Microwave. I love it.
No, Vaporwave. No,
Oh.
no, Vaporwave.
Vaporwave.
Is that a band?
Oh.
No, it's a genre of music.
Oh right.
Which I will go into deep detail.
I literally thought about like a vapor
Yeah.
thingy.
Vaporwaves.
Yeah, like interesting.
The World Cup. I'm enjoying the World Cup right now.
Yeah,
It makes me happy.
yeah.
The game today made me happy. It didn't make Nayru
I
very
wonder why it made you happy.
I'm staying out of
Little
this one.
Caesars pizza. Ooh. You got to go to America and have Little Caesars pizza.
We have Little Caesars
We
in
have
Panama too.
It's so good. Is it as good in Panama? Do you think?
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay.
I haven't been there as much as I've been to other places, but yeah, it's relatively
Oh,
new there. Yeah.
And what would I go for my fifth? Walking with Dinosaurs.
Oh man.
BBC show. Oh,
So
that
good.
was my child.
That was my shit when I was a kid.
boys. That is so good.
It's so good. Top
Oh, I
quality.
forgot one that is really important for all of us. Donuts.
Donuts, yes. I
I
think we
can't
can
go
all
wrong.
agree.
None of us have
Leave
donuts.
it on this. Donuts are happiness.
Donuts are
Thank
happiness.
you for watching. No, you're not watching. Well, you might be watching because I probably add some nice visuals to this. But thank you for tuning in to the Gambas TV podcast. I've been Cameron Johnson. This has been Nayru Analisa Marquez and Sam Burke. I will leave their social media details below if they want to put them in the description. And thank you for watching. And have a good day.